Both my father and mother, I learned much, much later, lived with grandparents who spoke Yiddish at home. And so both my father and mother understood Yiddish, although they didn't use it. Part of why I think Yiddish disappeared in my oral world was, I think, among my relatives anyway, it represented the people who died and the old world and I don't know. Once I got my mother to tell me that her aunt had been sent to Auschwitz. Once. She would not speak of it. She said she could not speak of it. And this was the aunt that lived with them in Paris and was Yiddish speaking, so that apparently in their home in Paris, my mother's aunt and mother spoke Yiddish. But after the war, by the time I came along, I was born in '48, and my early memories of my grandparents on both sides were in the early '50s. Nobody spoke any Yiddish or anything resembling. My father's family spoke German, but they chose not to. Mostly the language at home was Russian. My parents spoke French to each other. My grandparents spoke Russian to each other. And we were pretty confused as kids, I have to say. I don't think it's possible to raise kids trilingual. I think it's a whole lot of why I became an artist, because I didn't have the words for anything. But when I got to college and studied French, my teacher, who we didn't think was a Jewish man, but in retrospect, of course he was a Jewish man. His name was Samuel. His first name was Samuel. He was just a hidden Yidden, I call him. Anyway, he told me that my French was Yiddish, that my syntax was completely messed up. And I said, that's not possible. My parents speak perfect Parisian French. They went through the entire educational system in France. Oh, my father started at high school. And he was very insistent about it. And it wasn't until I studied Yiddish that I realized that he was actually right. My French is very messed up with Yiddish syntax.